perfect end to a perfect day. Manchester City 4, Manchester United 1. Oh, what a hedge! Oh, that's electrifying!
Hat-trick hunting, trick getting. Still the appetite is there for more. Oh, it is sensational!
How you doing, guys? Good evening. I was about to say good afternoon. I thought it was 12 o'clock there for a minute. I keep seeing the wrong things. But guys, good afternoon or good evening. I don't know if this is still evening. Sometimes it's afternoon for some people. But welcome to the show, guys. Today I'm joined by somebody who I've been watching for a while now. That's Luke, and he's from Never in My Lifetime podcast. Very good podcast. I enjoy it myself. I watch it a lot. I don't know. I think you guys just started this year, didn't you?
We did, yeah. Started like in March. It was something I always thought about doing with them to Alex and Danny, because I've known for a fair bit now anyway. But I was all about doing a channel, but it's always like doing it on your own. Obviously, I understand how difficult it is because I've tried doing it myself a number of times, but it just depends, obviously. Because for me, I found doing it with them two was just worked. The three of us, three on the screen.
Yeah,
it was and also you bring on guests as well. It sort of helps. It's sort of a nice dynamic for people to sort of chat to. It's like this, you and me chatting here. So, yeah, it's just about March. Obviously, it's coming up to our first season properly. The full season doing it. So that'll be good. Looking forward to seeing how far we can go with it. And yeah, I'm enjoying it. And so do I.
Do you want to tell the audience where they can find you? Where they can find you guys. So it's best to say it now, because usually I used to tell people to say it at the end. But at the end, sometimes, there's not many people. So I was like, yeah, it's best you do it now. So go ahead, man. Yeah. It's all yours.
Of course. Thank you very much. So, yes, it might be the link description or the video. You go on NIML pod. It's probably easier to do that rather than typing it all out properly, because it's YouTube kind of works sometimes.
It is down in the description, but you can also just tell them if you want.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. So it's a normal lifetime podcast. It's been going for this about March. You get some videos, some shorts now and again. It's not consistent. It's still trying to work out like Euros, and with City content, as you know, Patrick, it's quite quiet right now in City at the moment until like at least July probably. So until then, it's a bit about the Euros here and there. But in July, August, a lot more to come, which is good. But yeah, a lot more to come.
Yeah, that is. No, that is true. So that's where you can find, guys. I also put his link in the description, so you can also be able to click that and be able to support. And guys, if you want to subscribe, you haven't subscribed yet, you can also subscribe to this channel. It'll be massive support. And you can also if you are on Twitter, there's a lot of you guys who like watching from Twitter. If you don't want to come to YouTube, all you can do is just like the video and also retweet. But today we're going to talk about a lot of things. Obviously, it's going to be about Man City, but we are going to cover a few things. As Lucas said, it hasn't been great for Man City content creators because our transfer window is quiet. Let me not just say Man City; it's every club, because every time I go on a stream, look, and we're like one of these streams where everybody's gathered. Nobody has anything to say. Everybody's just clinking on straws, And Fab is also struggling. You can see Fab, the way he's milking. He milked the Juventus and Douglas Luiz, the way he's milked that so much, at the point where every single Douglas Luiz now has traveled to Juventus. He's going to do his medical. You can tell that clubs are tight-lipped at the moment. And the funny thing is, look, all of us had this discussion last month when they said the City and the Prem are going head-to-head with, the situation with the PSR and obviously the rules that were brought in. But a lot of rival fans, remember, they were on our backs. They're like, you guys are so entitled. There was people like from Talksports, like Jim Jordan, who hates us. That Jordan fella, I hate him. He was like, these guys are so entitled. What are they doing? But the funny thing is, none of the clubs are moving. Now who is entitled? Because you guys are scared. You're scared that as soon as you make a move, the Prem might come after you. So what are your thoughts on this? Just a general thought, because I know this is the second week. I don't really want to go deep into it, but City was right, went there, because no club is moving now. No club wants to move anything.
No, exactly. I mean, from what I gather, like Everton and obviously did a deal with Villa. You got Newcastle doing stuff here and there. I'd rather have Newcastle. The Bruno situation was never a need to sell him anyway, and I always said that like if we want him, we'll get him that release clause. And obviously, we didn't value that. That's what it is. You know, obviously, as a fan, you want to see players come into the club. You got to remember, not as simple as it is. You got to like work out what's to come in that. I mean. I think, yeah, as I said, it's just basically, yes, July hits, 1st July, you'll start seeing clubs moving a bit more. It's just that we're trying to wait out, probably get to the end of June. Obviously, that's when, obviously, the current year for football technically ends. So obviously, 1st July, it's pre-season. So I reckon around Monday, you'll start seeing a bit more movement. Not necessarily City or Arsenal on that, but be like Leicester and Southampton to make a bit more moves with the new clubs. You might see a bit more, obviously, seeing a bit more here and there, but it'll only get much better for us as content creators for City.
I know.
Definitely.
I know. Like, yeah, I'm not like a transform agent. I'm not like, I don't get into it because sometimes I used to be like, you know, when you view these things, I used to watch a lot of people, and then people would promise, it's done. There's rumors, and then when it's not done, you'd be like, but you told me it's done. You know what I mean? So I don't really like to. I always get into them, unless I see like the usual. Like I see Jack talk about, you know, Jack, when Jack tweets, he tweets once in a while. When Jack tweets, you know that, oh, this is something that's serious. When Fab says this is close, you know it's serious. David Onstein, you know that, oh, this because he doesn't just tweet. Or Martin, is it Black something? Is it Martin Black? I keep forgetting his surname. He also, as soon as he tweets, he seems like he tweets when it's needed. But anyway, let's just talk about City. This season, obviously, it was peak for a minute. And we have to admit, as City fans, those moments where we're like, are we going to do this? Those moments we could have done the treble, but I didn't believe we were going to do the treble. Those moments we're going to do the double. Then I was like, if we do the double, we'll get away with one. I was like, I remember I said on one of the streams that if we do the double, it'll be unbearable more than the treble, because I think this one will be us just robbing one, because we were not that great most of the season. If we're being honest, somehow we were getting away with it, because those moments where I was like, wow, how did we win that? How did we draw that? Or how did we get away with that? But thinking about that, we had Kovacic come in. How did you rate his season yourself when Kovacic came in? Before we talk about Nunes and Doku.
I thought he did pretty well, actually. I think out of the signings that we've kind of like seen of the season, played a bit more. Cover's come in and have done a good job. Like him and Rodri together have formed a good partnership. You can sort of see he goes, Rodri stays, Cover might stay. Rodri. It's good. It's good to have that kind of player of Cover's quality in the team. I think he really sort of adds something different, like a passer. You know, he sort of breaks through the lines, gets play moving. I think something like that is we needed for a while. So I think for the price we got him for, I'll probably give it a good 7.5 out of 10. I won't give like a 10. I think it needs to see a lot more from him before we start rating it as a 10, but a good solid sign overall, I think, Cover, definitely.
Do you think he's here, though? Because those rumors that Italian teams are trying to bid for him. Do you think he's here for a long term? Because he came here at 29, now he's 30, right? A player like Kovacic doesn't run that much. He doesn't move that much. You've seen like Modric. I'm not saying Kovacic is like Modric, but Modric also once said that Kovacic is the one who takes over him when he's gone. But when he's gone out of the game, when he retires. But did you see him from the beginning when he came in yourself as a City fan? Like, did you say, oh, this guy is here for a long time? Because a lot of people say he was a stopgap, you know, a stopgap just for City to find a proper midfielder. But I'm not sure. I feel like he might be here to stay for a while, you know?
Yeah. I think Cover was a backup for Bellingham. I think Jude Bellingham was the one we wanted the most. And when he chose Madrid, look, from what I've been told about it, Bellingham was seriously considering going to us. Haaland and Foden convinced him to go. But when Madrid come calling sometimes, we'll go Madrid. I get it.
Yeah.
It's Real Madrid. Like, I mean, I've always thought about Real Madrid and Barcelona, but it doesn't matter what you think of the politics of the clubs, but they're still big clubs. So I think we kind of put all our eggs in the basket without actually realizing maybe we should have had a backup plan. I mean, Cover's a good player anyway, but I think we really need to sort of take it as he's definitely a player, I reckon, for like 2 or 3 years. I reckon another in 2026, probably. I reckon he'll probably be gone. I reckon the year for the next season and the season after that, but it won't be a permanent fixture for this team.
I personally was disappointed with Kovacic because What I mean, like, not that him being signed. I liked him. I always wanted him to come to City. But do you remember the time when we were linked with him from Madrid? I think he could have come to City earlier. I just liked him because this guy Kovacic, a lot of people didn't rate him, and I was raving about him. I was like, this guy, if we sign him, he's very good. It's just that the age he came in, it's the same as Riyad Mahrez. When Riyad Mahrez said, I didn't want to come to City at 27, I wish I came here at the age of 25, 24. Because sometimes some of these players, especially Kovacic, I think Kovacic could have been a very, very reliable player to us. Now moving to somebody who a lot of people seem to lose hope. A lot of people seem to say he was a backup and he wasn't wanted. I still feel like this guy is a baller, and I have seen him, and I know Liverpool wanted him. A lot of teams wanted him, believe it or not. At a point in time, he went to Wolves. Obviously, I think there's a very good player in there. It's just unfortunate that sometimes when you come to a Pep system, you don't just get in, because
No.
if you look even at the point when we are complaining, saying we need somebody next to Rodri or somebody play when Rodri is not there. I have watched Nunes, right, play at Wolves as a lone DM, holding DM, or play next to Neves, and he looks good. And he is very good when he plays next to a DM on his own. And he has the legs and the energy. Just that I don't know if Pep sees him like that, but he's also very creative, believe it or not. Nunes. What are your thoughts on Nunes? And are you on this boat where people are saying if there's a first name to get out of that midfield, it has to be Nunes? Because I feel like he's a very good player and he can be a very useful tool in this team.
Yeah, I think he's a good player. I think he wasn't given enough time, really. I didn't see enough of him last year to really sort of give him a proper rating. I've seen, I mean, in the Club World Cup, he did pretty well. We're called upon. Although, again, it was like team. I respect the teams that were in there, but we were definitely the better team out of the teams that we played in that tournament.
Yeah.
But I think there's more to come for him. I think remember he's still a fairly young player. Has a lot more to give.
Yeah.
So I think he can definitely offer a lot more to the team. People saying sell him, no. Like it's clear the club have bought him for a reason. They won't spend that amount of money on a player for no reason. I think he definitely is. If I'd say stop getting more cover, then I would say Nunes. But again, I get where you're coming from. You want the big name, but it ain't gonna always happen. Like Haaland, we got that because it perfectly works for everyone involved in that situation. With Nunes and Cover, I just feel like, especially Nunes particularly, I think there's more to come next season. I think people are a bit more patient with him. I get it though. You want a bigger player there, but sometimes it won't always happen. So the fact we've got midfielders there is good, but we do need another one just to be sure. I reckon just for a bit of backup now and again. I think, but yeah, the Nunes done all right.
Where would you see him play yourself? Let's say this season, next season. Where would you see Nunes play? Because I still believe that. Yes, I know that Kovacic looks great to Rodri. I believe Nunes can actually be the guy next to Rodri with more legs. Because don't forget, what I've noticed with City is we were very exposed in counters because most of our midfielders went fast. But Nunes is very fast. You know what I mean? I think if somebody made a lineup where Nunes was next to Rodri, then Foden in front with De Bruyne on the bench, obviously managing De Bruyne's minutes. Would you see Nunes next to Rodri? I think so. And then let's say as the game goes by, Rodri is benched, and then Kovac comes in to finish the game to make sure that Rodri has fresh legs. That can be the future,
I'd give it a go. I honestly think you're right, Patrick. I generally feel like people need to realise that if you get a Kimmich, let's say hypothetically, if you get a Kimmich in right now, he's 28, 29. You aren't many years at him as it is. So basically, that's basically another Kovacic you're putting right in there just to play back up to Rodri. As soon as you say back up to Rodri, then I'm like, well, that's not long then, like 2 years most, and then they'll be gone. So we need alternatives to Rodri. You need an alternative system, alternative way of playing to match it up. And I think that's why I feel like for me with Nunes, he needs to be given more time and try him out next to Rodri. See it. I think it can work, but again, it's getting fans to be a bit more patient because we don't do that sadly here at City. Well, the fans that are sensible do, not the ones on Twitter who just say loads of stuff all the time.
I know because people are very impatient. Like I remember when Kovacic had a bad game, and he started the season so well for us. I remember he said preseason so well for us. He played as a holding midfielder against Bayern, the friendly. He was incredible. He was doing good until the Arsenal game. Like, in all fairness, that Arsenal setup was not great. Let's be honest, it wasn't great at all. I don't know why Pep went for Bernardo. I think he could have put Bernardo maybe as one of the three, but he could have put Nunes, Bernardo. I think for me personally, I thought, okay, we have no midfielders here. We're struggling, isn't it? We're doing nowhere. Why don't you just throw Bernardo in the midfielder, Nunes in the midfield, and Kovacic, all three? I think that could have been a better blanket. Do you get it? Because in that way, we would have just flooded the midfield. I think it would have caused more trouble for Arsenal, but it is what it is. Hong, thanks for joining. I saw your text, so I sent you there, Hong. Look, this is Hong. So, Hong, we were just talking about the new signings. So we're just on Nunes and Kova. What are your thoughts on the two before we move on to Doku?
Yeah, well, first of all, thank you very much for having me, Patrick. How you doing, Luke? Hope things all good with you. For me, I think Kovacic has had a decent season, of course. I thought he started off well, but then he had I think he had an injury layoff, if I'm correct, in the middle of the season, and then came back strong. And I believe he finished the season very, very strongly. In the end, he managed to find his place in the team as well. And I think with Matheus Nunes, I still believe he's finding his feet at City at some point, and he did finish the season very strongly as well in the last couple of games. He need like both of them. Not everybody is able to adapt immediately to Pep's demands. So I think usually I would say season to bed in first, and then next season, let's see how they do this time. Because if you think about it, like with Rodri, I mean, he was still finding his feet in his first season and struggled at times. And then from 2020, 2021, hasn't looked back since. And here we are. And he's one of the best holding midfielders in world football right now. So I think, just give him time next season. I'm excited to see definitely what Matheus Nunes can do in the next season. Because, it's too early to write him off. Because I think with, the signings like this, of course, there is impatience, because about hitting the ground running, but not everybody can hit the ground running straight away. So I think for me personally, it's about giving them time.
We dropped 60, didn't we? We dropped 60 million. We dropped 60 million on him. That was 60, right?
I think Kovacic is 25 million, I believe.
No, I'm talking about Nunes. Nunes was 60, wasn't he? 60? 50?
He was.
I think he was 53 million, if I'm correct.
Yeah. But that's what they were willing to drop such an amount on him. So I'm pretty sure that's an investment. That's why I keep telling people that I don't think he's gonna be just let off. So what about Doku? What do you think of Doku, Luke? How has Doku's season gone? Because I'm pretty sure you saw my Doku tweets of fighting against people who were against Doku at the beginning, but he's proved everybody wrong. Obviously, I still watch him against Belgium, and sometimes I'm frustrated. Say, come on, Doku. You were having a good end of the season. Past that, don't hold on to the ball for so long. But I still feel like he gave us a very good season for his first season, especially for somebody who's just 21 years old coming from a French league.
He has, yeah. Honestly, I think Doku for me has a lot more to come for him. He's still very raw. When I watch him for Belgium as well, he definitely needs to find a way of, like how Hazard did with Chelsea and that. You've got to learn to know when to stop running, let the full try to take on the whole team. Sometimes it works, sometimes it won't work. I mean, I watched him against United in the final. He's probably our best player on the pitch by far because he came more and gave it a go. Now that's helpful, I think, as an impact. But I do think he needs to start playing more games, actually starting games. I think he needs to be that kind of right winger. Winger, left winger, Grealish, or some Savio. I mean, Savio and Doku would be unbelievable winger put anyway. I look forward to watching that next season with Haaland. But he needs to learn when to go and when to hold. I think as soon as he knows how to do that, he'll be probably the best winger in the league, one of the best wingers in the league. Yeah, but he needs to calm himself down a bit. He needs to relax. He's very young still got a lot of potential ahead of him. And so I think even De Bruyne said it as well. He just needs to sort of you've got all the pace there in the world to run up players, just know how to use it. I think Pep will find out as well for him. I mean, obviously, it's a good way of, but like Sterling and Sane was the same thing. And Sane found that sort of perfection with the pace, and it worked brilliantly. So it will come. Patience will come. It will happen, definitely.
Yeah. Well, what about yourself, Hong? How have you rated? Doku's season?
Pretty good, actually, to be honest with you. I think started to find his feet a little bit as well, being in and out of the team a bit. But I think, like I said, as I was explaining with Nunes as well, first season did okay for me personally as well. Having watched him live a couple of times, I was fortunate enough to watch him at Wembley for the semi-final and the final. I thought he was electric in both those games, and of course a couple of times on TV as well. And I do agree with what Luke says about Doku. He does need to, know when to use his pace at the right place at the right time. And I've been impressed with him in the Euros so far from what I've been seeing him. And I'm looking forward to seeing him squaring up against Belgium. Not Belgium, sorry. For his Belgium to square up against France on Monday. I'm looking forward to seeing that. And I think with Doku, there's a lot more to come from him. And I think, he's nowhere near the finished article as of yet, as he's only 22 years old, only just finding his feet. And, and I think he's at the right place, at the right time to continue his development with us. And I don't see anywhere else. And I think, for me, he's definitely, emerging into one of the best wingers in the world at this moment. Of course, he's not at that level of, Vinicius, Rodrigo, not that there as of yet.
Yeah, and let's not forget when Vinicius and Rodrigo, when Vinicius and Rodrigo went to Madrid, especially Vinicius, he was pure comedy. I don't know if you've seen the videos. I used to watch him, and my friend who is a Madrid fan hated Vinicius, and I wouldn't blame him. Vinicius had a video, those introduction videos, look, where they give the players, you have to juggle the ball, play with the ball, show skill. Yeah. Vinicius failed. Rodrigo failed too. They were so nervous and bad. And Vinicius used to. That's what I'm saying. Even Doku's season at City is better than Vinicius. Because if you see the comps, oh my God, if you see the videos, Vinicius was horrible. It's one of the
biggest. Look at Neymar, Barcelona, much better and skillful. I think you're right. Look, they're not skillful players, are they? They're they're very direct player, which is fine. But they're not like what you'd get from it's like a Valor and the skill. So they're not that kind of player at all, which is fine. It's kind of Brazil nowadays, really. I think Savio is much better because of skillful, and you know what I mean. So but you're right. Vinicius Junior was terrible to but he's brilliant now, obviously.
Now he's brilliant. That's an example to show people patience. Valverde, when he was, I think Atletico, one of the teams, they sold him because Valverde there was potential there, but it wasn't as good as now. Trust me, I'm just giving you these examples because sometimes you have to invest. I can even give you an example for the people who are watching. Look at Odegaard. Odegaard was an investment from Madrid. This was supposed to be the next big thing in the midfield. They gave him away because they're like, this is not working out. You just got the right system, the right time. Give these players time. That's why Nunes, I'm telling you guys, if he stays at City, some people are going to eat their words one day. They will eat their words because I've watched Nunes. I remember when we played against Sporting, I know Pep says he spoke out of the top, but Pep was impressed because Nunes bossed that midfield. We beat Sporting, but Nunes bossed that midfield. Anyway, so now we're moving away from that. Let's go to fantasy. I'm just going to put this as fantasy because as none of us know who's coming. I'm going to say one thing, and I've said this all season, Luke and Hung. And I remember I did a video, and some people got so emotional. And as a YouTuber, you get DMs. Some people go into my DMs and said, why am I doing this to De Bruyne, blah, 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 blah. I said something, right? And I think people have to understand. I'm going to say it again. I think De Bruyne has to become two things. Number one, play him when there's important games. I mean, when you need him. Let's say, for instance, we're playing a Chelsea. Don't play him when you're playing Southampton or you're playing whatever. Unless, or if you want to play him in a Southampton game, play him from the bench. What I mean is, De Bruyne seems to be very effective these days when it comes off the bench. Remember when he came against Newcastle, when he came in the Champions League? Players like De Bruyne, especially with the age and the way, let's be honest, the legs are going. We've watched it against Belgium. There's no pressing anymore. And there was a comp that I saw online of De Bruyne, how he used to be so fast, how he used to run, press, get the ball. That's gone. Let's be honest. We've seen him at the Euros. He picks his moments. There's a point where at the Euros, I said, there you go. I was right. He ran for a short while. Luke and Hong, he dribbled and then did a pass and failed. He stood there and went, you could tell that this man can't do what he was doing before. Don't blame him. No. That's why if you see Modric, Modric, he used to just move slow, and then the other guys would be the legs for him. I think De Bruyne either has to be coming off the bench in games when things are very difficult, when we need creativity, or he has to play a few games. I don't know if you guys agree. But also, before I move on to you guys and see your opinion on that, I also think this City team, as much as we focus so much on saying there's a backup for Rodri, as much as we know that Foden has to take over down the middle, as much as I pray that Pep allows Jack Grealish, who said it openly multiple times that I only play left because the manager wants me, but I prefer to play as a number 10, or I prefer to play down the middle. I think Jack down the middle would be incredible because I saw him against Chelsea. Remember when Bernardo Silva was injured, Gundogan was injured, De Bruyne was out. Jack was the one down the middle. He caused so much trouble for Chelsea and he was creating for us. I think we won the game 1-0, but he created so much. But obviously, I don't know if Pep would do that, but I wish Jack would be one of the number 10s. And I think that would be great. But if he doesn't, am I wrong to say that this team needs another creative option? Because I have seen us sometimes when we struggle, you're like looking at the bench and De Bruyne is not there, he's injured. Or even with De Bruyne, you're like, I just wish there was somebody who's like a vet or some other creative player who can just jump on and do it. Because Bernardo Silva is never creative. Bernardo Silva is just Bernardo Silva. All he'll do is he'll give you the runs, he'll press. Once in a while, he'll have games where he's so dangerous, he'll score. So what are your thoughts on De Bruyne, Luke? And what are your thoughts on saying maybe we might actually need another creative midfielder if Pep doesn't decide to? Because this is my thing also before I end this. Before I throw it to you guys. Do you know when we signed Jack, do you know why I'm disappointed in Jack? People don't get it. People think I hate Jack. It is my disappointment, but it's not Jack's fault, as I said. I thought Jack was going to take over De Bruyne. I might have not thought that because Jack is so creative. I thought when De Bruyne is gone, Jack becomes the man. And I think he's capable. And I'm going to say this with chest. I think Jack is capable of taking this team and being the sole creator if De Bruyne is not there. Because I have noticed that every player, even including Foden, when De Bruyne is there, they sort of bow down and say, it's his game. Give it to him. But what are your thoughts on the De Bruyne situation? And what are your thoughts on saying maybe this team, if we somehow end up with another creative midfielder, it'd be great. Because Kovacic is never creative. Nunes, I've seen him create before for Wolves, but that was Wolves. Is he going to be given the chance in this team to create? Because he was one of the main creators for Wolves, Nunes, believe it or not, and for Sporting. Or you think we're good? We don't need another creative option from the bench?
I'll be honest with you. I think a Musiala reverts, you won't get more anyway. I think, well, you could, but we need to put the money up, which I know City and put money up or something like that. It's all down to whether or not we want to or not. And we can, the money is there to get Musiala reverts right now. But it's kind of like, we know what we want overall. It is that the aim this summer. Because I feel like we do, obviously, going forward with De Bruyne starting to fade off a little bit, he's still very, very good. Don't remember, he's still world class. You know what I mean, he can do like a Cruz kind of Modric kind of role, definitely. You know, he can sort of be that kind of like elder statesman team, especially at 33 now. But you're right, we need some creativity. Jack has that ability in him to do it, and I feel like at times on the left wing he's shackled, like how Foden shot by Southgate for England, and everyone can see it. People who support England can see it. We're all saying it, but that guy won't change it. When we all know that certain players like a Savio or Doku and that, they're wingers. They are meant to byline, runs to byline, down the wing, cross strike, or through on goal score. What we need to do, I think, for me is, like I say, convert Jack to a midfielder and get another forward who can run at players. Now, I think if Madrid and Mbappe do not work out, because I think that's going to be a really messy situation at this point, especially with Mbappe and the whole mental that goes on there. I think someone like Rodrigo might be available at some point. I think if we can get something like a Rodrigo on the right with like Doku and whatever mixing around that's future. But I'm trying to think of how to put Jack in at midfield. That would be brilliant. And Foden together at midfield is ideal. But it's all down to what Pep wants at the end of the day as well. It's obviously great to have what we want. Does Pep want that? Or whoever comes in next time? Remember, Pep hasn't confirmed anything that he's staying out of next summer. So all up in the air still. But we do either a winger or an attacking midfielder of some kind, either this summer. Definitely.
Yeah, what about yourself, Home? What are your thoughts on De Bruyne? Do you think he's that top class, so we still start him every game, or he has to be on the bench?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you.
So Sorry, repeat the question, please, Patrick. I'm really sorry.
I'm saying De Bruyne. As I was saying, do you think I'm being harsh saying sometimes he has to start off the bench and play a few games?
I do agree with you with that, because after watching with the Euros, I think he's not able to do what he used to do when he was, back when he was like mid to late 20s. So for me, with De Bruyne, is like, I do agree he does need to start some games from the bench, maybe against the lesser teams, and maybe in the bigger games where I like to just start, because De Bruyne, as you can see, he is still world class, and and he can still find. I mean, I could definitely say this. Yes, I do agree with the fact that his legs are fading away, but the ability to find a pass is never ever going to fade away, regardless.
Yeah.
And as you can see with the passes that he has done in the Euros and in the season that we just had as well. So I do believe that, but I think as going into the future, we do have to accept the fact that, well, for me personally, we do have to move forward with life without De Bruyne in the team as well. We do have to look for an heir. Yes, I know there's Foden, of course, that can find passes, but I don't think it's near impossible to find someone that can replicate what De Bruyne does, like near impossible. And I do like the idea, I agree with Luke with like a Musiala Wirtz, but I have to be honest, like, I do have to accept the fact that Wirtz and Musiala are staying at their respective clubs in the next season, as both of them are confirming themselves with the agents and families. I do believe one of Musiala and Wirtz will arrive at City in 2025, because I believe, I mean, listen, I don't know what the hierarchy is saying. I don't know what they're thinking, but my belief system tells me that they're going to have to go for one of those players next year as well, because like I said, you can't make a decision. It just goes the same, like, City had to make a decision on Vincent Kompany, Fernandinho, Sergio Aguero, David Silva. We had we obviously phased them out of the team, and look at this with who we replaced them with as well. So it's going to be like that as well. So look, I mean, De Bruyne still has some good moments left in him, in my opinion. I still think he's not ready to let go of his throne just yet, and not be ready to hand the crown over to the next young successor in this moment. I still think he has a lot more to prove, and I think, going with the game against France, I think De Bruyne will have a big moment on Monday against France. Yes, it is expected, probably by the wider public, that France will knock out Belgium, but I do believe this. If De Bruyne is in the team, anything is possible.
No, anything is possible. For me, to be honest with you guys, I know that that kid from Argentina is coming to City, and he's going to join in December. Don't forget, and he plays as a number 10. I don't know. I'm telling you, Luke. Luke and Hang. I just keep saying, Jack has openly said, and we know Jack plays midfield, and he says, I used to play as a number 8, and I love playing as a number 10. It's just that I've been told to play left. He can do it. It's just that why I'm saying that is, before, Jack was lazy in tracking back because he was the man at Villa. This time he knows how to track back. I saw him in the game against Madrid. I was disappointed when he was benched, because he kept on going down the middle and he kept on tracking, the away game. And he was the best player on the pitch. And then he got hooked. I was like, why are you hooking him? I think Jack was still on that pitch. So I'm still praying. Pep has done it 3 times. I'm still praying he's going to see that. Maybe let me put Jack. If we stay with this squad, I wouldn't mind Jack playing as a number 10 when him and swapping with Foden. If things are maybe struggling, where Foden is struggling to find something, or both of them just stuck down the middle, as we've seen it with Belgium. So anyway, so it looks like the Bruno thing is now quiet. As me and Luke were speaking off camera, the Bruno thing is quiet. Kimmich seems like he doesn't want to sign a contract at all, and he's on the chopping board. If Kimmich shows up at City, I'm pretty sure we're all going to be happy. But I was in a stream saying he's turning 30 very soon. Do we get another older player again? People are like, oh, he played. I was like, come on. I know he can play right back, but he's 30. He's turning 30 soon again. Yep. Is Kimmich worth it again? Or I said maybe let's invest the money in Joao Neves, who's 19 years old. Then a few people say it, but he's too young. What if he doesn't work out? I was like, I see potential there. I see so much potential. Oh, do we bring back somebody I want to come back? because I want James McAtee to come back. Am I the only one who's very sentimental on that one?
Who, sorry? Sorry, I didn't hear the name, sorry.
Yeah, I'm saying James McAtee. James
Oh,
McAtee to come
McAtee.
back.
Oh.
Yeah.
I'll be honest with you, right? McAtee, I think he's a good player, but I just don't think it's going to work at City. I think we should not have let him go to Sheffield United last season.
Yeah.
I think that's the wrong move. I think the Championship it was fine, but he needed to go to a team like a Burnley or something like the Premier League where he would play Premier League minutes, and he would have been. I know play Sheffield United anyway, but somewhat a bit better than that. I don't think it was the right team for him, and you can see it. He did all right, but it was nowhere near the play. And I think that there's a player in there, like Tommy Doyle. There's a player in there, but I don't think we'll have enough time at City to see it. It's a shame because I know much everyone loves McAtee, but look at Palmer. Everyone said the same thing about Cole Palmer. I think Palmer deserves another chance last season, but it is what it is. Chelsea and absolutely balled out and young player of the year. But I think with McAtee, I can't really see us like losing much out on that. I think he'll do really well in the real where he go to, but I think this summer we got to look at possibly getting some money for him, investing that into someone a bit more first team. I know we got young players coming through, but sometimes it won't work. Like leave the laps, another one. He just won't get that time. I thought he would.
Yeah, Delapa was disappointed. I thought that was the next guy, you know.
Yeah, but if he doesn't get enough off the bat. Like Oscar Bob's got that already. Yeah, the minutes, obviously the goals already, and so Rico Lewis. So them two are definitely going to be in the team next year anyway, getting more games. But some players like McAtee, Delap, and that just don't get that time, sadly. And I get it. You know, it's nostalgia. I want him to do well as well. I want him to sort of play, but you got to all right. It obviously isn't going to work. Let's get you onto a team that's actually going to get you minutes, and we'll invest that money properly into the rest of the team because we need more depth in this team. So I wouldn't say like a massive summer. I think that we're not quite there yet. I think next summer though is where we have to get in like 3 or 4 players though, because like Walker and that will need to go. I think because it's getting a little bit. I think.
Do you think there's? I think. This is sorry for cutting you, but
right.
I don't know. I think Walker, even if he moved on this season, right now, I wouldn't mind. Am I the one who feels like that? Because I feel like I know he's captain. I know he's still, but this season was a bit. It was half. It wasn't even half and half. There, it was a higher percentage of. Like I know he's got pace, but there was moments he was walking. Even in the England game, one of the plays. Now he walks. You know, at least before he could run. Now sometimes he walks majority of the time, and you're like, there was a Walker comp for this season. It's not great. Like the way he was done 4 times, the same guy, people cutting in. I don't know. I just feel like that's why when they keep saying that Yan Kauto guy is on sale, I keep saying City, come on, we might need a 4-back. I know he's not as fast as Walker. Unfortunately, there's no 4-backs these days who are as freakishly fast as Walker. I know Frimpong is, but Frimpong is also very, very bad at defending, believe it or not. He's very attacking. But that Yan Kauto Yan, I was like, maybe Yan comes back. I was looking, I was like, come on. I know they are saying, does Walker really stay? Some people are blaming that dinner with Pep. Some people are very pissed off. Yeah, some City fans are gas. I've seen those pictures say that dinner should have never happened. Look, Walker has been a good servant. But I don't know, is it just me who feels like, I think if they're thinking of a 4-back and they find one, take that 4-back immediately.
Yeah, I just think look, Carl Walker's been a great servant to this club. He has been.
Yeah.
Like I mean, he's been one of the best right back I think we'll ever see at this club. Zabaleta will. There's just debate there itself, but Carl Walker for what he's achieved at this club, absolutely. But I think last summer we should have cashed in last summer. I think we should have right back, give Kuto a chance, or you get a Frimpong or someone like that who's doing good time to come in. I know Frimpong can't necessarily defend, but you can train him to do that. Or you play a different system that I think Frimpong will be ideal for a Haaland player because he can run inside, cross it into him. Because he actually good crossing as well, so like players like Schick, Iglesias, and that for Leverkusen, and Boniface as well. So he can do it. And I think it depends. Like, are we going to try and mold the system a bit more to suit wing backs again? So so Doku and Frimpong can overlap, which would be unbelievable, by the way. If I saw that, Doku and Frimpong overlapping would be insane. Obviously, a left back like a Diaz Hernandez or Alfonso Davies. You never know. It's just it's a dream. It ain't gonna happen, but ever.
It's a dream, yeah.
Nice. It'd be nice to have them wing backs going down the Davies and Frimpong.
I know, and it would be nice to have a wing back or a full back who, when he gets in a position to create, they create. Because Walker last season, Pep wanted him to play wide, and he gets into a position like pass it. They're right over there, and then he if that was like Jan or even Cancelo, I know Cancelo something happened. Cancelo could have played that role of being high, so great. But anyway. Hong, what do you think? Do you think we're a bit harsh saying Walker maybe we should have cast last season? Because I think he's on his last he's on his last legs. I know he can run, but this season was
I think it's a bit difficult with Kyle Walker because he's been incredible for us in the 7 years as well. But I think part of me is saying we should have cashed him on and get young right back. But I do believe that I do see Kyle Walker. I don't see him leaving in this upcoming season. I think when this upcoming season ends, I think he'll go after that. In my opinion, probably go back to Sheffield United and go there. And I know there's like rumors of Saudi Arabia, but I can't see that happening because I know he has a complicated family life as well. So, and I do feel next season maybe slowly start to phase Walker out of the team if Jan Couto stays, or if we get a Frimpong in, or put a Kanji at right back, even Kanji at right back, even though he can do the job there as well. But just thought in the end. But I think for me next season, I think it's time to start slowly phase Walker out of the team, and I do agree with you in ways about being harsh on him because I do think he has slowly faded a bit.
Yeah, it is what it is, though. And this is what I tell people. And it's the same thing with De Bruyne. It's going to hurt people. The same way David Silva broke our hearts. That broke my heart when I saw David Silva leaving. Yaya, even though he was crying for cake, we still loved him. All these players, Kolarov, I keep forgetting his name. Is it Kolarov? Yeah, Kolarov. I don't know why I keep forgetting his name. Clinchi, all these guys. Sanya, I never really had a relationship with him. I don't know why Sanya or did.
Right.
Yeah, he was all right. Samuel Nasri, I cared a bit, but sometimes he also had the attitude like he didn't care himself. Like Aguero, we were all heartbroken. Aguero leaving. I don't know if anybody was it Di Matteis? If anybody was emotional about it.
I didn't care about El Magala, but good.
I don't know. I know. Joe Hart hurt a lot of us. We were very disappointed when Joe Hart was leaving. There's been a lot of players for City that obviously have hurt when they're leaving company. Because company obviously was getting a lot of injuries. But I just feel like Walker, for me, if I saw City buying a full back, I know those rumors somewhere. I just saw the rumor saying they're looking to buy a left back. That's a miracle because City haven't had a left back for a long time. Left back is a curse at Man City. That's the cursed position.
Mendy, but
I know. Him, number 21, as we call him. Yeah, I know. That was disaster. Yeah, let's be honest though. There was hope. Then he got exposed. With like when Adama is the one who ended his career, by the way. And obviously the other stuff. But anyway, now speaking about let's just speak about the next season before we because we're already going in for the 5 minutes. I don't want it to stay long. Let's just speak about next season. So the signings, obviously everybody's crying for somebody to back up Rodri, but there's rumors that City are happy with the squad. Mr. Bernardo Silva, as Rodri and Diaz joked about it, it's as if it's a soap opera. They tell him he's on season. They keep making fun of him. You know in that video, they're like, "Oh, now you're on season 7." I'm pretty sure now the soap opera is on season 8 because nobody's coming for Bernardo Silva. I'm pretty sure Pep is laughing in a room somewhere, like going ha 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 as he drinks wine because he never wants Bernardo Silva to leave. So most of the squad is staying. We'll find out obviously on the 1st of July. You never know, like that Madrid can come for Bernardo Silva, or Barca will go and dig the money. They still ask 20 million for Ferran Torres. I don't know how City are allowing that to happen. I don't know if they still owe Rafinha money to Leeds. These guys, I don't know how they're getting away with it. I think the Barca name helps them. So let me just ask both of you. What do you think of next season? Are you looking forward to say, even if we don't win anything next season, I don't care? Or you're looking to say, maybe we have to get another Champions League on board? Because I personally believe this Champions League that was won by Madrid, I think belongs to us. I was hurt. I felt this one was easy. I don't know if it's just me. Maybe I was being too cocky. I thought this was the easiest one. I think this one was clear that whoever wins between Madrid and City. But I thought Madrid finessed us. I don't know if you know the word finessed. They played us and we got played. You know, when you get played, you're like, you deserve it. Even the Madrid players have been coming out and saying, oh, City deserved it, but it is what it is. That penalty by Bernardo Silva still haunts me. I was like, oh my God, Jesus Christ. So for me, I just want another, I don't know. For me, I prefer another Champions League. I just want us to at least have two. That means we have two with Chelsea. I like making fun of Chelsea because we've already surpassed them on the trophies. Getting another Champions League, we're 2-2, and then if we get a third one, we're 3 with Man United. You can see I have agendas. My agendas are always to make sure we catch up. So what are you feeling? What do you want to see next season? Because the FA Cup. Okay, I was also disappointed by the FA Cup. Let me not lie. I disappointed me a bit, but I don't know what happened. Were we drinking? Were they drinking? Were they hungover? Because I know Man United showed up, but some of our players in that FA Cup, was it just me? They didn't look up for it.
No,
Yeah, so,
honestly,
go ahead.
I was there at that final with Alex and Danny. I was there.
Did you go see it live?
I did, yeah.
It was painful,
my first derby too, and honest with you, I was disgusted at that performance. I know it's what happened in May, but I didn't care. I was like, you cannot go into a derby and not give your all. I don't expect to win all the time. Sometimes that happens, but at least I expect effort. And it looked like we just didn't even try at times. Like it just felt like we were all just drunk. Like both their goals, right, that they scored weren't even that good goals. Anyway, apart from the second goal was a good finish, but you just saw it was not the same team. I think next season we got to be careful because look, Arsenal are bottled it. Well, not bottled it. I'd say second time was a bit closer, but they're getting closer. Arsenal. They get and after get a couple more players in, they'll win the league. So some of our fans, if we don't do what we need to do this summer, don't be surprised if Arsenal win the league this season. Because look at Liverpool. Liverpool got it in the end, and then eventually we got it together. I think we have to go for Champions. The Champions League was a failure last season. We should beat Madrid. That Madrid team was not good at all.
They were not. They were not.
Bellingham ain't a guy. I'm sorry, he ain't that guy at all. He's a good player, but he's not world class. Nowhere near it. I've seen way better players than his age. And trust me, I'm as an England fan, I've watched him enough times. I think Foden's probably the most world class player we've probably got in that team right now. I'm just hung up my PR on that, but that's a whole different story in itself about England. But we need to, I think, definitely win at least FA Cup or Champions League next year. I think next summer is the summer. Anyone worry about next summer will be the summer where we go in big, I reckon, because a lot of these players are getting old, and we can't keep players. Some players are going to get towards their 30s in 2 years' time, so we've got to start looking properly at
Bernardo is now 29, isn't it? Bernardo is also 29 now.
Not far 30 now, yeah. So we got to start looking. I don't mean that they're done. They've still got years still to go. But if we need players that are going to come up and replace them naturally, a Branthwaite will be ideal to replace John Stones because Branthwaite's class, and there's Frimpong, I think would be a great replacement for Walker. Alphonso Davies or that would be a great replacement for the left back. But Josko, I said that with Diaz. I think we need to do that at some point because if we just let this fester again, it'll be exactly what happened when Pep first joined. Remember that old Asian squad that Pellegrini left?
Yeah, I did. Yeah, we can never have a window like that again. That's why even this window, they have to start bringing in a few, because that window we had with these FFP things where they're looking, they wouldn't allow us to just come and drag a lot of them coming in. This is the reason why I keep telling people that's why we need to slowly throw in a few people there. And it's just like that. At least Diaz came in when he was young, but I found out he's already 27. I was like, wow. Last time I was like, Diaz was a young 23-year-old defender. He's already 27 now at City. Josko obviously will be thrown in into centre back one of the days he'll take over. But how do you see it? Because as I said, this Champions League, I thought it was ours for the taking. I think this pen thing was just lucky. That's why I say we should have killed Madrid. I think that Madrid away game, we should have held them because we were leading, weren't we? I think we were leading, and then we let them score. So what do you think of next season? What are you looking forward to? Do you say we need another Premier League? We do a 5-peat, or you're like, I want that Champions League, I want the second one?
Well, I'd love a 5-peat, but I have to agree with Luke about on the Arsenal are getting closer as well. I think they do need a striker for them to to compete on all fronts, in my opinion, as well. I do believe, with the squad that we have right now, I think, I do believe a Champions League will be possible next season, as long as we get a little bit of luck thrown away, because in the Champions League, we do need a lot of luck to win that tournament. It is
they'll give us Madrid. They'll give us Madrid again. Just watch. They'll give us Madrid. Yeah. It's becoming a thing.
But I think, I know Madrid I do acknowledge they've got Mbappe and Endrick coming in, but you can't guarantee that they're going to win they're going to win 5 Champions Leagues in the next 5 seasons. There's no guarantee. I mean, look, think about it. Mbappe couldn't do it in PSG with Neymar and Messi by his side. So there's no guarantee of that. Mourinho at Madrid didn't work out. Mourinho at Chelsea never worked out. Ancelotti at Chelsea didn't work out. Of course, Pep didn't win it at Bayern Munich, never worked. So I'm throwing these scenarios, these examples of factors. I'm saying, like, no guarantees. Like, Real Madrid got Mbappe and Endrick doesn't mean it'll work out. I do believe we are contenders of the Champions League next season. I think, people tend to forget about Savio coming in, and I think Savio will stay at City next season. I don't think he'll go out on loan. It doesn't make any sense, because after the season he had at Girona, of course, Lager, but Savio was the key reason why Girona got into the Champions League.
He was the best winger. He was the best winger in La Liga. Yeah, that's what they called him, the best winger in La Liga.
And I haven't been very impressed with him. And I think, for me, he's probably the best winger for Brazil right now. Yeah, right now he's the best winger for Brazil. I've watched a couple of Copa America games, and Brazil looked very, very disappointing. And I think Rafinha and Vinicius didn't offer much. I mean, Vinicius has not replicated his Real Madrid performance in Brazil for whatever reason, and Rafinha just is not it. And I think Savio, when he comes on, they look more threatening with him in the team. So I think with that, and of course Echeverri as well. I think he's, I know he's young, but he could be the answer to the attacking midfield problems as well, if given time to prove it as well. And I think with this season, I think Savio and another possible midfielder, whoever it may be, I like to think it'll be Kimmich, despite the age. But I think he brings a lot of leadership and experience with him if he does get to sign with us somehow, some way. But I think with this season coming up, look, you've got to trust Pep, trust the hierarchy. And I think next summer, that is when we go all out. But I think this summer, we're gonna chill out a bit with Savio and another midfielder coming in.
Yeah, that's it. But you know what? I'm gonna do the same. I'm just going to trust Pep. I'm pretty sure when he went to Abu Dhabi and they had the discussion, I'm pretty sure they've already set out a plan on what it is. And as Luke, you mentioned it, that obviously on the first, I think that's when we'll see a lot of clubs moving. Look, bringing in a Kimmich, and let's say, for instance, they bring in a Kimmich and he plays as invaded right back. I wouldn't mind that, I know that he's not as fast as Walker, but I still wouldn't mind that because him playing as invaded right back and then the 3 staying at the back, the 3 centre backs, it also opens up for a lot of choices for you to flood that midfield, flood that midfield and not actually want to. That's why I'm saying. You can also do the De Bruyne thing where when you play De Bruyne, but you have to have legs in midfield. Because De Bruyne can still work, but you have to have legs in midfield. That's why Bruno's going to be ideal, because he brings legs in that midfield. Nunes brings legs in that midfield. I don't know if you've got anything else you guys to discuss, but I'm pretty sure we are all saying we hope Pep extends just for a 10-year, because he's got 8 years to 10 year.
Yeah.
That might not happen, but I don't really mind about that. So if you guys don't have anything else, I can end the show unless you've got something to throw in there.
One more thing. I think. Oh, go on. Go on. You first, mate. You first.
Sorry. Apologize. I was going to say, I like to think, for me, Pep will extend his contract by another year and make it 10 years at City. That's just my feeling of it. I had a discussion about this with Carl the other day, and he feels the same way as well.
Okay, grand. Yeah. Okay, cool. What about yourself, though?
Yeah, I think for me, it's just like I'm not going to be shocked if Pep does go that next summer. I'm kind of looking at thinking, we got to prepare at some point for him to go, because I'll also be prepared for a drop off. I'm not saying it's going to be a major fall off like Arsenal is the 5th, 6th, 7th, but we've got to realise, I think if we can get Xabi Alonso in as a manager plays Pep, we'll be fine. I think we got to trust the manager, whoever comes. I know obviously Pep's still there, but it's hypothetically, you got to trust whoever comes in after Pep, because it's going to be the same thing. We might be more in Europe, because obviously a style play much. So you remember, Pep's style of play is great, but it doesn't always beat Europe and knockouts. It can always throw you out if on the day you aren't doing well, like Haaland was against Madrid, just didn't turn up. But I think I'm kind of ready for it when to go. But if he stays on longer, of course I'll be happy with that. Absolutely.
Yeah, great. Yeah, so guys, that was everything we were talking. Just to talk about City sometimes, talk about a few things. We did a video yesterday appreciating Pep. That's why I didn't want to go deep into the Pep situation. If you want to watch it, it's on the page. But Luke, again, do you want to tell the people where they can find you, and if you've got any upcoming shows, please?
Of course, yeah. So you can follow us on Not a Lot of Time podcast. Put Nimble because it's easy to put rather than do a long one. We do podcast, video, shorts. You know, we're starting to do more content as we go into the end of the season. It's been a bit quiet this month, not much going on, but July, August, it'll start coming back a bit more. A show on Tuesday with City TV and Tone, which will be good. So a big show come on Tuesday to sort of preview July, what's pre-season, that kind of stuff, and then. We've got, I think, I'm also on with American podcast called Snobby Boys. They've been quite popular. They're quite getting more popularity in the podcast scene for City, which is good to see. So, yeah, so a busy week coming up next week for us, but it'll be good. We're good to have more content also for all of us to discuss more cities, which will be good. So, hopefully, it'll get better.
Great. No, thanks for coming. And Hong, you can find him on Twitter. He's not very active on Twitter most of the times. Or you can find him on his TikTok. Hong, I finally found your TikTok. Somehow your TikTok landed on my on my feed. I saw your inspirational speeches. They're very good. But thank you for coming on, Hong, and look, I appreciate it. So for all the guys, make sure you go to not in my lifetime podcast, and you can find Luke on Twitter on Twitter. The link for Luke's Twitter and also his channel is underneath this video. And also don't forget, guys, to subscribe to Veda Games, one of my friends, very good channel. And Girl Arcade, big up to you. I hope you're doing well. And all the guys, enjoy your Friday, enjoy your weekend. Yes, it's a surprise. Patrick doing a lot of videos this week. Don't get used to it. I'll go missing again. So, because it's very difficult. I'm telling you, Luke say the same thing. It's very difficult to be consistent with content sometimes, guys. Because you must remember this. It's either I come out with videos and they're like, what is this lad talking about now? Fair. Exactly. Some people enjoy that, but sometimes you want to make videos that mean something, so you have to sit back and think about it. Sometimes like me and Hong are in a group with City fans. If they come up with an idea in the WhatsApp group, and they tell me that, okay, let's do this, I come out and say, let's do this. But sometimes I have so many thumbnails, I have to stop myself. I was like, nah, this is no. I just delete them. I was like, nah, I'm not gonna do this. But I always want to make sure that when I come in here, it's either I talk to somebody, let's say like, look, I talked to Martin. I haven't spoken to Ray in a long time. I've been talking to him that we have to do a show. I talked to Carl. I talked to a lot of people, who are out there just to say, let's do something and just speak. But today I was like, let me talk about Man City and just have a chat with fellow City fans. That's why I told Luke, I was like, we've been trying to collab for a while, and I'm pretty sure when there's transfers, you will see me and Luke and Luke's channel and my channel active now. We'll be so excited. But as I said, even Fab is starving. Fab is starving at the point where he's getting so much abuse. But don't blame the guy. I hate when people abuse Fab because he's such a guy who's helped us a lot. But I appreciate it. And Hong, enjoy your work, and Luke, enjoy your day, man. Thanks for coming, both of you. I appreciate it. Goodbye.
Cheers.